So whether it was on purpose or not, Apple's signing iOS 6.1.3 for the iPhone 4S and for the iPad 2. The iPad 2s have to be made in before mid 2012 to downgrade, but today I've got an iPhone 4S, which I am going to be downgrading, so I'm just going to disconnect and reconnect this to iTunes, just see if it pops up. See if iTunes will read it. Hopefully it will. So, in a second you're going to get something that should say iPhone. Which for some reason I can't get, so I'm just going to try putting this phone into DFU mode. This phone is going to be wiped anyway. So please make a note of that when you do this to your 4S, you are going to lose data because it's a restore, not a downgrade. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to do Shift Enter on restore, and it's going to bring up our IPSW files. And I'm going to look for iOS 6. So basically, you put it into DFU mode, and it should come up with this. So you just do Shift left click or Shift Enter on Windows. It's going to say iTunes will update and restore your iPhone. Just hit restore. So basically now, it will now prepare it and it will restore it back down to iOS 6.1.3, the classic days of iOS 6. Now this is not cool booter, this is not like dual booted or anything. This is the standard iOS 6, and it won't be dual booted, and it won't be partitioned either. So you're gonna have just one iOS 6 basically, without like the iOS 9 running on it as well. So it's extracting the software now, and it is going to take you through the normal restore process. Everything on your iPhone will be wiped, so just make sure you don't have anything important on the iPhone 4S, which we don't here anyway. But everything will be wiped, so make sure there's nothing that you need. Then you can proceed with the restore. Like I said, if your iPhone doesn't come up for some reason in your iTunes, if it comes up, just do Shift left click or Shift Enter on restore, and then look for your IPSW. But if it doesn't come up, just put it into DFU mode and restore it like that. If it comes up and says that Find My iPhone must be turned off, you're going to have to just go into settings and iCloud and turn that off. Or you can just, like I said, just use the DFU method. Both work there. The IPSW files need to come from ipsw.me, and once you've got that, it will show you, if you click on iPhone 4S, it will show you signed IPSWs, and once it's shown you signed IPSWs, obviously it currently shows 9.3.5 and iOS 6.1.3. Now this is weird. I mean, why 6.1.3? Why are they signing this? I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure there's a reason. The problem is no one knows the reason, but there must be a reason that they're signing this software. And I mean, for jailbreaks, this is cool. I'm not 100% sure if this software can be jailbroken, but we'll see. And I mean, if they did do this by accident and they're about to kill this, then get your 4Ss back down as soon as you can, because, you know, eventually you're not going to be able to get them back down if they kill this. So this could also, if you want to sell your iPhone 4S maybe for more, maybe having it on iOS 6 once Apple's killed the downgrade might actually push the value up a little bit, because obviously iOS 6 is that classic sort of Steve Jobs sort of look that everyone likes. So, you know, maybe keeping it on iOS 6 will push up the value a bit. Hopefully it does, but This one's not in exactly the best condition, so I don't think that'll work. But it would be good, and I'm just gonna stay here for a second if I can. I don't know how long this is actually gonna take to put iOS 6 onto this phone, but basically, why you'd want to go back? Well, like I said, jailbreak, put the value up. I mean, iOS 6 is sort of the last skeuomorphic iOS, sort of Steve Jobs designed iOS before iOS 7 obviously came and changed it all, which is sort of after Steve Jobs went. Obviously they wouldn't have had like the prepared iOS, so iOS 6 sort of would have been prepared a little bit, and they would have sort of known what they wanted to do with it. But 7 would have been a different story, and by that time they sort of would have been in a position where they would say, well, what can we do now? How are we going to make iOS better and stuff? So that's sort of when they changed the design, and I mean, that is after they sacked Scott Forstall, the software engineer, and Johnny Ive sort of took over all design and decided that he liked everything to look flat rather than sort of lifelike skeuomorphism design, which kind of doesn't make a difference to me. But I will be doing iOS 6 reviews of iOS 6 on this phone because, you know, just being able to get iOS 6 on here is mad. So we'll be doing a few reviews of iOS 6 on here. And I'm literally just trying to keep this going just so I don't have to edit 2 clips because I know it's so close to nearly being done. And I feel like I'm dying right now as well since I've some kind of horrible cold. But either way, it's verified now. So this is literally about to turn on iOS 6, which, like I said, if this is some kind of accident, then it's just the best accident ever. Get your iPhone 4Ss, get the charger and that. Obviously, you might need to look for a charger if you haven't used it for so long, but just get them out if you can find them. Downgrade them to 6.1.3 before it's too late. And even though the 8GB 4S came with iOS 7, yes, you can downgrade the 8GB 4S back to iOS 6 as well, which is something it never came with. So it's basically about to come on now, and this is just awesome. I've actually got a 4S down to iOS 6. And it's not like, I mean, I had iOS 6 on the 4S a couple of months ago. It was a second partition with Cool Booter. But this is my own storage. This is not a partition drive, and it might work a bit better with installing older versions of apps because Cool Booter just seems to kill it. It killed the software update servers and everything. So maybe just by doing this, you're actually going to get a working app store that will install older versions of apps. I mean, I don't know. I could be totally wrong here. But if a jailbreak's available, I'll probably look into it. I'm not saying I'll jailbreak this phone because just for the simple reason that if this phone breaks or like the jailbreak, if the jailbreak sort of killed this phone or broke it and Apple killed the downgrade, then I would have no way of going back to iOS 6. So this phone would have to be on iOS 9 again. And I really don't want this phone on iOS 9. I actually want this phone to stay on iOS 6. So that is literally, I'm just not going to jailbreak for the simple reason that I want this phone to stay on iOS 6. And by jailbreaking it, you're obviously putting that risk out there that something could go wrong. You've also got the other risk that Apple could stop signing this at any time, which is just something to be careful of anyway in the first place, because obviously when it's gone, and it won't be coming back, and that's the problem. I mean, hopefully it stays, but I really cannot see Apple allowing you to keep doing this. So I'm just going to turn voiceover on, guys, and this is actually going to work.
Voiceover on. Info. iPhone. Configuring.
And we even have the setup sound. We even have the sound. You can hear now. We even have the sound. So there we go. That is how you do it. That is downgrading the iPhone 4S back to iOS 6.